Good afternoon. Members of our governing boards, officers and faculty of Georgetown University, members of the graduating class, families and friends, welcome to the 2014 commencement of Georgetown University Law Center. Today, we honor the women and men who make up Georgetown University Law Center's 142nd graduating class. Will you now please stand for the National Anthem performed by members of the graduating class of 2014.
No, hold on. They're singing. I don't know. Okay. Bye, guys. Okay.
Do you want us to do it again? Are we still getting notes?
Okay. Take two.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I have to say, it was definitely better the second time. The invocation will now be offered by Sister Dorinda Young, Roman Catholic chaplain at the Law Center, and Reverend Kevin Wright, Protestant chaplain at the Law Center.
Let us pray. Most loving God, as we gather in this place today, we celebrate in our hearts the end of one journey, even as we center our minds on journeys yet to come. We offer our thanks for the magnificent gifts and graces endowed to each woman and man here. We are profoundly grateful for the way in which these graduates have blessed the Georgetown Law community during their time with us, and we joyfully anticipate the distinguished ways in which they will bless the wider world through their service and dedication.
You are a God who is greater than our fears. So stir in our hearts a courage to pursue ends that are just and outcomes that affirm the dignity and worth of others. You are a God who takes notice of the widow's cause, the orphan's plight, and the case of the abused. So instill within us zeal to work towards a world in which equality and peace kiss, and liberty and compassion embrace.
Bless now each graduate as they embark on more than just a career, but on the pursuit of a calling that has culminated in this moment. Quicken their resolve to practice law not only for the sake of profit or personal gain, but for the pursuit of justice in our society and in our world. We offer you our eternal thanks for these individuals, and we take hope in their future as we now honor the dedication and determination of their past. In your holy name we pray all of these things. Amen.
Edward Quinn, the Secretary of the University, will now read the University Charter.
Please be seated. An act concerning the College of Georgetown in the District of Columbia. Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled, that it shall and may be lawful for such persons as now are, or from time to time may be, the President and Directors of the College of Georgetown within the District of Columbia, to admit any of the students belonging to said college or other persons meriting academical honors to any degree in the faculties, arts, sciences, and liberal professions to which persons are usually admitted in other colleges and universities of the United States, and to issue in an appropriate form the diplomas or certificates which may be requisite to testify to the admission of such degree. Signed, Langdon Chivas, Speaker of the House of Representatives, John Gaillard, President pro tempore of the Senate. Approved March 1st, 1815, James Madison.
Professor Susan Loeblock will now introduce our honorary degree recipient, Joan M. Biskupik, Legal Affairs Editor-in-Charge, Reuters.
Given Georgetown's conviction that an informed public is the bedrock of our democracy and essential to a successful legal system, the Law Center today honors Joan Biskupik, an alumna whose impressive career promotes this proud tradition of enabling citizens to engage with the law and with those who shape it. Through her work as a renowned journalist and biographer, Ms. Biskupik is known for providing insightful coverage of the United States Supreme Court. Because of her work, many Americans have come to understand the laws that shape their everyday lives. After starting her journalism career in the Midwest, Ms. Biskupik moved to Washington, where she covered legal affairs for the Congressional Quarterly and, very importantly, earned a Juris Doctor at the Law Center as a night student. Yay! While still a law student, Ms. Biskupik attained considerable professional success. She received the National Press Foundation's Everett McKinley Dirksen Award for Distinguished Reporting of Congress for her coverage of Clarence Thomas's appointment to the court. Shortly thereafter, she was hired as the Supreme Court correspondent for the Washington Post, and after covering 2 tumultuous decades at the court for the Washington Post and USA Today, Ms. Biskupik recently joined Reuters as their legal affairs editor-in-charge. Joan Biskupik stands as a pillar of intellectual and professional integrity at a time when many news organizations have shifted focus from the issues that matter most. Her work eschews this trend and by constantly exploring subjects of national importance. In addition to her cutting-edge reporting, Ms. Biskupik has published highly regarded biographies of 2 of the court's most influential justices, Sandra Day O'Connor and Antonin Scalia. She has received praise from writers, practitioners, and scholars for her thoughtfulness and the accessibility of her work. Ms. Biskupik has also established a reputation for selflessly giving her time and talents for the betterment of the legal and journalism communities. She often speaks before universities, various civic organizations about the court and legal journalism. She regularly discusses current legal issues on PBS's Washington Week, NPR's Diane Rehm Show, Good Morning America, Nightline, and The Today Show. Her continued commitment to spreading knowledge and engagement with the professional community exemplifies some of the Law Center's proudest traditions. In recognition of her career as a journalist, her unique insight as a Supreme Court biographer, and her generous example of giving back to both her professional community and the general public, Georgetown today is privileged to bestow upon Joan M. Biskupik the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Stay right there. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Congress of the United States and by the Board of Directors of Georgetown University, I hereby confer upon Joan M. Biskupik the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Congratulations.
Professor Paul F. Rothstein will now read the citation for our next honorary degree recipient, Kenneth R. Feinberg.
Finding just solutions to society's complex problems is what a Georgetown legal education is all about. Today, the university proudly honors Kenneth R. Feinberg, a man who has devoted his entire adult life to the pursuit of that goal. As a nationally respected mediator, arbitrator, and alternative dispute resolution expert, he has provided just compensation and some sense of order and financial stability to innocent victims and their loved ones who have been caught in some of our nation's most horrible and devastating tragedies. Respected by victims, companies, and governments alike, he has served, often without pay, as Special Master of the Federal September 11th Victim Compensation Fund, Administrator of One Fund Boston, established in the wake of the Boston Marathon bombings, Administrator of the Hokie Spirit Memorial Fund following the shootings at Virginia Tech University, and Administrator of the Gulf Coast Claims Facility arising out of the BP oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, among many others, and most recently, he is handling the General Motors ignition lock debacle, and he has, because of all of these things, he has been called the master of disaster in the nicest way, not like a James Bond villain. A graduate of both the University of Massachusetts and New York University School of Law, where he served as articles editor of the Law Review, he has managed to combine his practice of law with teaching at some of the nation's most prestigious law schools, including Georgetown, where he received the coveted Charles Fahey Prize for distinguished teaching. While a student at NYU Law, Ken Feinberg became research assistant to Professor Robert Pitofsky, whom he credits with being a guiding force, mentor, and inspiration throughout his career. When Professor Pitofsky became the dean here at Georgetown Law, he persuaded Ken to bring his considerable teaching skills to us, to the immense benefit of our students and faculty. Ken continued with us on a part-time basis for 35 years, and Bill Traynor, our current dean, has convinced him to do so again. Kenneth Feinberg's ability and passion to bring justice to complex social problems has been a part of him his whole life. Ken, can you do something about those airplanes? These qualities were manifest early in his work as a judicial clerk for the Chief Judge in New York, Chief Judge Stanley Fuld, on New York State's highest court, and later as the right-hand man of U.S. Senator Ted Kennedy, a senator revered for his tireless efforts to include all people, regardless of wealth and color, in the concept of social justice. Very early on, a young Mr. Feinberg was spotted by federal trial judge Jack B. Weinstein, renowned for Solomonic judgment, who asked him to help fashion a compensation settlement for Vietnam War veterans injured by Agent Orange, something that had eluded solution for years until Mr. Feinberg arrived on the scene. This same wisdom and even-handedness were on display during Feinberg's subsequent service to the country, one of them being Assistant U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. At a time when polarization of our political discourse has become the rule, when bipartisanship remains an aspiration yet to be achieved, Kenneth Feinberg exhibits the best qualities of public service and commitment to the public good that serve as positive examples to our next generation of lawyers. By combining legal scholarship with service to our nation, he exemplifies the best and highest in our legal profession, and he is a perfect example of the vision and spirit of Georgetown University. We are privileged to bestow upon Kenneth R. Feinberg the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Congress of the United States and by the Board of Directors of Georgetown University, I hereby confer upon Kenneth R. Feinberg the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Congratulations.
And now, Kenneth R. Feinberg will address the graduating class.
Thank you very much. I want to thank the President, Joyer. I want to thank the Dean, and of course my friend of many years, Paul Rothstein, for those introductory comments. You notice he mentioned that the Dean has convinced me, I think is the way Paul put it, to come back to teach again at Georgetown after a few years' absence. Now, there's no deal here. It's not as if I'm getting this degree on the condition that I return to teach. There's no deal. He didn't mention that. But I do want to thank the president and the dean and Paul. My mother would agree with most of what Paul said, but might question some of his conclusions. I know the first lesson of an effective commencement speaker: be brief. After 3 years or more of toil and labor at Georgetown, you do not need to hear platitudes and homilies about life and responsibility and commitment. What you really want is freedom. And after a few words that provide ample consideration for my honorary degree, you'll have it. I must tell you, as I was walking down the circle here with the dean and with the president, some lady grabbed my arm about 10 minutes ago, a half hour ago, and she said, "Mr. Feinberg, we are so honored that you are here today, but will you rush through it and speed it up? We want to get out of here." Great character builder. I am also relieved that Paul did not refer to me as a model public citizen. A few years ago, while resolving BP oil spill claims in Louisiana, a local politician introduced me as a model public citizen. A fisherman in the back of the room grabbed the microphone and he stated to everybody, "Well, we certainly agree with you that Feinberg is a model. You know what a model is? A small replica of the real thing." That meeting quickly deteriorated into chaos. It is a particular honor for me to be speaking to this graduating class and receiving this honorary degree. My relationship to this great law school goes back over 35 years, and as Paul pointed out, is attributable to just one man, the former dean of Georgetown Law, Robert Potofsky. It was Bob Potofsky who brought me here as an adjunct professor in 1978 while I was working for Senator Kennedy on the Senate Judiciary Committee. I had been a student researcher for Bob while attending NYU Law School, and he urged me to teach here at about the same time he became dean. From the days I was a law student, Bob Potofsky has been both mentor and friend. He has been a most trusted advisor, and I will always be in his debt. And this law school, in the first rank of law schools in our nation, owes Bob a debt of gratitude as well for his vision and his leadership. Bob, we salute you. Just 3 summary points in the next few minutes. First, never forget the role this great institution has played in your development, both as individuals and soon to be successful lawyers. I think that the closer we are to this law school, the less we appreciate its national impact. Whether I am in Boston, New Orleans, New York, or now Detroit, a day rarely passes when I do not hear about the impact, strength, and reputation of Georgetown University Law Center. Over the past decades, it has evolved from a first-rate regional law school to a national institution, respected, admired, and praised throughout the nation. As the latest graduates of Georgetown, you have an obligation to support this school and all it represents. To promote its superior standing, it needs strong and vibrant alumni. You graduates should be ready to serve the law school that has served you so well. Second, do not rely upon your school transcript or class standing to plan your long-term future. Beware of the tendency of law students everywhere to think too much like lawyers in deciding today what you will do tomorrow. Life does not work that way. If I have learned anything over the past 35 years in compensating the innocent victims of tragedy, it is that life has a way of altering the most carefully thought out plans. Brace yourself for the unpredictable. Where is it written that life is fair? It is not. Go with your heart's desire. Travel the road that today offers you happiness and professional fulfillment. Don't dwell on what tomorrow will bring. Keep your eye on today's prize. With your Georgetown degree safely in hand, you will find future opportunities that diverge dramatically from the current plan. Third, a word about public service and serving the public interest. And it's not quite what you think it's going to be. It is altogether fitting, as we honor the 50th anniversary of the administration of President John F. Kennedy, that we reinforce the importance of public service, giving back to the community. It is difficult for you graduates fully to appreciate the impact of President Kennedy on our nation. He believed, as I do, that every single individual can make a difference in our own communities. He also believed in the communitarian ethic, the idea that no matter what our chosen profession or our individual way of life, we have an obligation to help our fellow citizens and our community. And the word community is writ large. Yes, it might be public service or public interest law, but the idea goes well beyond that of obvious interest to law school graduates. It also means working to reinforce those social institutions so critical to a vibrant, healthy society. Family, schools, the church, civic engagement. Civic engagement. This is the social and political glue that holds our society together and promotes national cohesion and unity. I have witnessed firsthand how we as a nation come together as one in times of national tragedy. September 11, the Virginia Tech, Colorado, and Sandy Hook shootings, the BP oil spill, the Boston Marathon bombings. After these and other similar horrors, we circle the wagons, lock arms, and demonstrate to the world that we are one, ready to help the victims, their families, and the community. Their but for fortune drives us to respond together. How we bring this sense of community to our daily lives in solving our current national and international problems is a challenge of our time. It should not take a national tragedy to reinvigorate and reinforce our sense of community. How frustrating it is today to witness the absence of political bipartisanship in promoting President Kennedy's communitarian ethic. What happened to President Kennedy's call to arms, demanding that each and every citizen make a difference in advancing community-wide priorities? Today, all too many elected officials scoff at the role of government and criticize the communitarian ethic. I reject this criticism, and you should as well. President Kennedy's message resounds whether you choose a career in private practice, business, education, medicine, or countless other means of self-fulfillment. There is nothing inconsistent with personal growth and giving back to the community. They go hand in glove. You graduates will hopefully pick up where President Kennedy left off, and 50 years later, bring new meaning to his words in living your daily lives. One more personal conclusion. It is often difficult to understand how the practice of law can make for a fulfilling life. All too often we are viewed by our critics as toiling in a profession characterized as dry and technical, lacking in heart. We are viewed as hungry for clients. We become involved in sordid and mannerless conflicts that demonstrate the worst aspects of the human condition. But there is another better description of the pride we take in our profession that we celebrate here today. Always remember and keep on your desk the words of Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes when he spoke long, long ago to Harvard Law School graduates. His words ring as true today as they did then, and I quote, "To those who believe with me that not the least godlike of man's activities is the large survey of causes, that to know is not less than to feel, I say, and I say no longer with any doubt, that you law graduates may live greatly in the law as well as elsewhere, that there as well as elsewhere you may wreck yourself upon life, may drink the bitter cup of heroism, may wear your heart out after the unattainable." Graduates of Georgetown University Law Center, class of 2014, go out and live greatly in the law. Congratulations.
I'd like to thank Mr. Feinberg. That was really an extraordinarily inspiring talk, and I'd like another round of applause. Ken Feinberg. And now we proceed to the conferral of the degrees. Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Juridical Science please stand? There are 4 of you. Amar El Hazir, Juan Carlos Botero, Cook Hee Lee, Diane Weber. Dr. DeGioia. I have the honor to present to you our 4 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Juridical Science. They've been duly examined and recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Directors. I therefore ask that you bestow upon them the degree in due course.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Congress of the United States and by the Board of Directors of Georgetown University, I hereby grant to the aforementioned candidates the degrees requested. Congratulations.
Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Laws please stand? President DeGioia, as Dean of the Law Center, I have the honor to present to you the candidates for the degrees of Masters of Laws, including Masters of Laws in Generalized and Individualized Studies, Advocacy, Global Health Law in International Institutions, International Business and Economic Law, International Legal Studies, National Security Law, Securities and Financial Regulation, Executive LLM and Taxation, and Taxation. They have been duly examined and recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Directors. I therefore ask that you bestow upon them the degrees in course.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Congress of the United States and by the Board of Directors of Georgetown University, I hereby grant to the aforementioned candidates the degrees requested. Congratulations.
And now, will the candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor please stand? President DeGioia, as Dean of the Law Center, I have the honor to present to you candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor, as well as candidates for the joint degree of Juris Doctor and Master of Arts in Arab Studies, Master of Arts in Government, Master of Arts in Security Studies, Master of Business Administration, Master of Public Health, Master of Science in Foreign Service, and Master of Public Policy. They have been duly examined and recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Directors. I therefore ask that you bestow upon them the degree in course.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Congress of the United States and by the Board of Directors of Georgetown University, I hereby grant to the aforementioned candidates the degrees requested. Congratulations. Well, it truly is a privilege to be here with you all this afternoon, at this moment, in this time of your lives, at this university. And I wish to begin in gratitude, first, to thank our distinguished guests, Kenneth Feinberg and Joan Biskupik, for sharing in our celebration, for sharing their witness and their wisdom. Both have made this very special day that much more special by their presence. And I'd like to express our gratitude again to them both. To Dean Traynor, I wish to thank him for his dedicated and exceptional leadership at our Law Center, for the countless ways that you have helped to shape these past few years for the women and men before us. To our faculty, for your tireless mentorship, the time in the classroom, the pursuit of your profession at the highest levels. Your gifts shared with our graduating class are profound. And to the countless other individuals without whose support and guidance our graduates would not be here today, we are deeply grateful for your generosity, the role that you've played in making our graduates' dreams a reality. And this brings me now to each of you, the extraordinary women and men whose talents, perseverance, and achievements we recognize and honor today. Congratulations. At this moment of commencement, we look to the dedication that you have displayed to deepen your knowledge and understanding of the law and to bring that knowledge and understanding out into the world, to realize your dreams, to prepare yourselves for the impact that only you can make. While we celebrate your accomplishments at this moment, we also celebrate your promise. We celebrate your talent and character that you now bring out into the world. Commencements are sacred moments. In these moments, we celebrate gifts. The gift of each of you. Your shared gifts of friendship, of inspiration, of hard work, and love. The gift of this moment in your lives when you are able to devote yourselves to your course of study, to developing your skills and knowledge of the law alongside some of the most accomplished scholars and practitioners in the field, and together with some of the most thoughtful and talented peers. In pursuing your profession, you have chosen to cultivate certain gifts, certain skills and passions and dispositions, and bring them to bear in the service of justice through the practice of law. This is the talent and character that I referred to just a moment ago, which we celebrate today. Arriving at this place in which your gifts have been identified and developed required you to explore your own interior freedom, to earn the self-knowledge that is essential to recognizing gifts in both ourselves and in others, in our peers and our mentors, and those we serve. This exploration is a defining characteristic of the context we seek to create for you here at Georgetown. But the journey does not end here. Inherent in this authentic and deeply meaningful recognition of your own gifts and those that you appreciate in others is a responsibility. A responsibility to bring your personal gifts to bear on the world in a way that serves and enriches it, and also to embrace and support the gifts of others. The cultivation of this sensibility and awareness is one of the defining roles of our university, and it is one that we hope will become a touchstone for you, a way of being, a way of engaging in the world that will help you to continue to find meaning and authenticity as you embark on your lives beyond Georgetown. This is the beginning, the commencement we celebrate today. This is the moment when we confirm that your talents, your gifts, your deepest motivations are now, in the words of Lewis Hyde, ready to be set free in the world. We could not be prouder of you at this moment, and we could not hold greater anticipation and trust in all that you will bring to the service of justice through the practice of law, to our communities, to our societies beyond our university. Again, it is an honor for all of us to be here and to share with you in this day. Please know that Georgetown will forever be a home for you, and that you have our very best wishes on this very special day. Congratulations.
Thank you, President DeGioia. Graduates of the class of 2014, speaking on behalf of all of the Georgetown University Law Center faculty, administration, and staff, I want to begin by saying that it's been a great privilege to have been part of your education and to have had the opportunity both to teach you and to learn from you. You are graduates of many different programs. Today, you are assembled together for the first time and for the last, and we salute each of you. We applaud our SJD graduates. You have already made important contributions through your scholarship, and we know that in the years ahead, you will make great marks in the world of education. Our LLM program brings together remarkable U.S. students who pursue the LLM degree to gain deeper knowledge of subjects of critical importance, such as tax or securities or national security law or health law. It brings them together with students from around the world, an astonishing 70 countries who do so much to make this truly a global law school. Each of you arrives at Georgetown already well educated in the law, and you've added to our intellectual life in so many ways, and I look forward to watching the important ways in which you will use your Georgetown education to contribute in many fields and in nations that literally span the world. Some of you, like honorary degree recipient Joan Biskovic, are graduates of our part-time JD program. And I have to say, I admire you greatly. To work and to go to law school at the same time is a remarkable, and as each of you knows, a challenging undertaking. And your receipt of a JD reflects extraordinary dedication to becoming lawyers. We arrived at Georgetown Law, you and I together, in August of 2010, and I remember welcoming you in the Hart Auditorium. You, the graduates of our part-time JD program, are my first class, and it's a pleasure to celebrate this great moment with you. And the largest group today is our JD students who are graduating from our full-time program. It's been a pleasure to watch you over the past 3 years. You've added immeasurably to Georgetown Law in your time here, through your leadership of student groups, through your contributions in classes, by the scholarship you produced, and through your work in this community and outside the Law Center. We have been enriched as a community by your idealism, by your energy, by your intelligence, and by your thoughtful engagement with questions of how law is shaped and what goals we as lawyers and as citizens should pursue. To all of you assembled here today, all the graduates of our degree programs, please know how proud we are of you. And in expressing the pride we have in you, I'm not just speaking on behalf of the faculty, the administration and staff, and President DeGioia. I'm also speaking on behalf of parents, spouses, brothers and sisters, grandparents, friends, partners, the people who join us here today, and all the others in your life who wish they could be here. So no one goes through law school alone. All of us know that. And that certainly applies for me as well, which is why I asked my wife Allison and my daughter Catherine to be here today to celebrate with you. Round of applause for them. The people who join us today made this day possible. They've listened as you learn new words and phrases like tort, res ipsa loquitur, and of course, Hoya Saxa. They've watched you struggle, cheered you on, they've sacrificed you, and today they applaud your success. And I'm asking you now, would you please stand and turn around and show them your appreciation with a round of applause. All of us graduates, those of us here on the stage and family and friends gathered on the lawn, are not only proud of you, but we look forward with great expectation to what you will achieve in the years ahead. And as you embark on your careers, I hope you'll remember and honor the Law Center's motto, law is but the means, justice is the end. Because of your gifts, and because you've received a Georgetown education, you have the capacity, to make a difference, to make this world a more just place. For more than 100 years, the women and men of Georgetown Law have pursued many different paths. But because of their idealism, their commitment, and their ability to use the law skillfully and with meaning, they've made contributions to our society of the most fundamental importance. Today, now, you join the ranks of Georgetown Law's graduates. And I urge each of you to carry on our deepest tradition and commit yourselves, as you pursue your careers in the law, to promoting justice and equality, to helping those who need your help. May you be what Georgetown educates all its graduates to be, women and men for others. One final word. As you move forward to craft your life in the world, may you carry with you the flame we have lit here at Georgetown. Let it light your professional path. Let it warm you in times of doubt or trouble. Let it serve as a beacon that reminds you that law is but a means, justice is the end. And know, too, that the home fires will always burn brightly here to welcome you back. You are, and you shall be always, daughters and sons of Georgetown. So, congratulations to our graduating class. Let's have a round of applause for the class of 2014. The benediction will be offered by Michael Goldman, Jewish chaplain at Georgetown University Law Center.
A traditional blessing. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Shalom.
Now, diplomas will be presented in various locations by sections during the next hour. Section numbers appear next to each graduate's name in our commencement program. LLM graduates are divided into two groups, A and B. I know you're going to be able to follow this because you've all done very well. LLM graduates at Site A and their guests may remain seated. Your diploma ceremony is here in this location. Congratulations. LLM graduates at Site B are at Alumni Square, which is directly across the street from the Healy Gates. Campus maps listing the section locations are available at the program tent. Our commencement staff and color-coordinated route signs will lead you to the appropriate section ceremony. Shuttle buses are available at the Healy Gate for any guests with limited mobility who need extra assistance. So in a moment, we'll process, and I ask that all graduates and guests remain in your seats until the academic procession has left the lawn. Now that the logistics are done, I want to conclude by saying this graduation ceremony is at a close. Congratulations to the class of 2014.